Hey, Kate.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm stunned. It's August.
You and I both, my friend. I don't know what happened. And August is going to go by like that.
I,
I'm
yeah,
literally 15 days at home and 15 days other places in August. So it's going to be fast.
yeah.
Buckle up, kids.
Buckle up, kids. And, for most out there that might watch this, August means all kinds of things restarting and really everybody getting back into work and summer's kind of winding down. And if they have kids, it's back to school and
Yep. Stressful time.
stress, stress, stress. It's easy to get ungrounded, and no matter how good we might think we are at positive intelligence and meditation and all the things.
I
Yeah,
agree with I agree with
yeah,
that 100%.
yeah. I had a client just this morning who is wonderful at meditation and truly has gone through positive intelligence and learned from it and practices. Um, has a great, great head on her shoulders, physician, leader, entrepreneur, all things awesome, kicking ass, and completely almost untethered this morning
Mm.
just because August 1st seems so significant. And it seems like more than half the year is over and there's so much and it's all going past and ah!
Well, it
So
doesn't seem like half the year is over.
I know.
Over half the year is over. That
Yeah.
is a fact, friend. And they
Yes.
just faster. They
Yes.
just faster.
Yes. And the end of the year seems to go so much faster than certainly summertime.
Mhm.
So we're not alone, but yeah, I know you've had a lot going on. I've had a lot going on. So do you want to go first or me?
I'll do.
Okay.
Um, speaking of untethered, I actually looked to see what was going on. Is Mercury in retrograde? Is what, that doesn't happen until August 5th, by the way.
Mhm.
And not that I subscribe a ton to that stuff, but I was like, what's going on? Because I feel so untethered is kind of a good word. Discombobulated, stressed. And for me, the the I would say cause is that I'm some of the work that I'm doing is not going well. And it's not going well because people are not making and meeting commitments. And I found myself kind of stepping back into a driver role and holding people accountable, calling people out when they don't make their commitments, meet their commitments. They make them, they just don't meet them. Calling, like having to have really tough conversations around, you know, I don't want to have to figure out that a project is months behind schedule. I shouldn't have to do that. Like bad news should be delivered fast and honestly, and so that we can all as a team kind of rally around and figure out what we need to go and do. And I think what's discombobulated me has been, that driver part was a part that I haven't had to um, leverage. She was in semi-retirement, right?
Yeah.
Came out when needed to happen, but I've had this extended like week and a half long journey on bringing this part out, and she was pretty tired before she went into retirement, so she's a little grudged to come out of retirement. Um, and I felt really anxious inside and really pissed off about the situation because it's not the part that I like to be. And just, having to wrestle with knowing all the good things that you need to do, right, that are going to help ease that anxiety, get you on the right track, and still not quite being able to leverage those tools.
Hmm.
You talk about this, the meditator that you coach and who knows positive intelligence. It's one thing to know all the things, and then it's another thing to be able to kick yourself into doing them.
Hmm.
Um, I sat on the couch on Tuesday morning and I was like, this is something I should journal about. didn't want to journal about it. My
Mhm.
feet did not get me up and go find a piece of paper. Um, this is something I should meditate about. My feet did not go, cross-legged and get centered inside. Um, did leverage my therapist, and that really helped. But it's really hard to, when you get into these pretty deep states, to then kick yourself out of it. And part of me was just like, I'm going to feel the anxiety. That's what I'm going to do. I've decided that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to feel it so that I can feel it through, right? Feel it. And I have gotten myself into a much better state, but just that realization of having to bring back a part that I felt like I had been able to rest that part and been able to, because that part, when she's on, she's not just hyper vigilant about the project, she's hyper vigilant now about everything. And
Uh,
so how do I thread that needle of, okay, I do need you to drive this, but I can't have you driving everything
yeah.
because get burnt out again. So like finding that balance of, and recognition of, okay, we're hyper vigilant because we feel like we got surprised with this 2 month delay, at least 2 month delay. Um, and also that doesn't mean that everything in my life is this way, right? This project is this way, but not everything in my life is this way.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm at, just in that space of curiosity, observation, correction, little nudges. And then also like leveraging this really strong part of me for this task that needs to now be driven for the next couple of months.
Mhm. Yeah. And it seems like there's I don't know if it's sadness or madness or that the driver had to come back out.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of those feelings. There's disappointment
Yeah.
because the team that I'm working with, I really had faith in them
Mhm.
and have defended them, right? And that never feels good to be like, oh, damn, I was wrong. Um, I am now back into people management,
Yeah.
which there's a reason I left people management. I
Mhm.
didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, and pissed off that I got into this place. I feel duped.
Yeah.
So that makes me pissed.
Mhm.
Um, and I can feel her exhaustion, right? As this part like rose up, I could feel like the tingling in my arms and the heaviness on my chest on just how much energy it takes to activate this particular personality of mine.
Mhm.
And I've gotten used to not. I've gotten used to just kind of letting things be.
Mhm.
And you chewing my meals slowly is the thing that comes to mind,
Okay.
right? And just like being much more enjoying of life, and this detracts from that slowness, that letting it unfold, that and so I've had to kind of manage the still looking for joy and
Mhm.
making sure that this personality doesn't take over everything,
Yeah,
because
that's what I was wondering. You,
that's the part. I used to be this way all the time.
yes. And you allowed her to go into retirement.
Mhm.
And now you've pulled her back out. So
Mhm.
you've got some experience now of retire back
Yep.
back on active duty.
Yep.
How do you get the experience of I only want you on active duty on this one part of my life?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I can feel her resentment of being pulled out of retirement too, because it takes her a lot of energy.
Hmm.
And so to also be like, this is the only area that you need to concentrate on. You're
Hmm.
specialist. It's not going to be forever. Right?
Hmm.
Everybody has to remember that. Everybody has to remember that this is just for a little. This too shall pass.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, it's something that I want to be able to manage, that I have this part of my personality that I can leverage for, and I've had to do that for in the past, I've had to do like, a day's worth or 2 days worth of having her kind of kick into. But this extended period is where like I can almost feel like ink like billowing over, and I'm like like no, no, just specialist, you're just specialized into this particular project. We don't need you everywhere.
Hmm.
And she's just such a big part of my personality that she's inclined to be everywhere.
Yeah, I'm wrestling with, do you appreciate her specialty? Yes or no? Um, are you scared that she is going to come back and overtake, and how much it might take to pull her back? I don't know.
I would say 2 days ago I was scared, but now I'm in the space of being able to be very appreciative, but also figuring out boundaries
Okay.
and being grateful for this gear that I have, that's in reserve,
Hmm.
um, and also for the other parts of me have gotten stronger, and so I can meet her with the, you can just concentrate on here.
Hmm.
We'll be over here doing our thing. You
Hmm.
don't have to be everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest, like, or the hardest part of this was it kicked me back to 5 years ago when this was my whole entire personality. There was no room for anything else.
Yeah.
And how, that suit doesn't fit anymore. And
Mhm.
so it felt both um, familiar and very much like a hairsuit at the same time.
Okay.
Oh, this is familiar, but I don't like this.
I didn't want it again. I just did it.
I've
I
worked very
just,
hard to grow these other parts of my personality that find the joy, find the slowness, find the art, the artistic aspects of things, to have time for the hummingbird that comes to the flower, and to notice that it's there and to sit and watch it, right? Without this part of me who's like, you don't have time for that.
yeah.
So, you
Mm.
know, now I'm learning to kind of navigate having room for both, activating both.
Is there something there about, do you personally have to pull out your large and in charge persona in these situations and go through the struggle? Because the lifestyle that you've learned and worked so hard to is exactly what we all learn about in, being more positive, being more calm, courageous with the universe, rather than trying to lead. So you've been in this beautiful space that you've wanted to create.
Yeah.
When you feel the need to bring her out, do you, or could you ask somebody else to play that role?
In this particular case, it's me.
Okay.
It's not going to happen with anyone else. I can't delegate it.
Okay.
I mean, I could, but
Yeah.
there's always a way, but this is my responsibility.
Okay. Could,
And so I could let I could decide not to take a front a forward, or a large and in charge um, role. But what I fear is that it would just get to be, later and later and later and later.
mhm.
And really can't afford that. So there's a necessity to bring her out
Yeah.
and to have her play a role. And it's a talent of mine, um, which is okay. I just need to learn to balance both sides and to have those boundaries where we don't take over,
Mhm.
right? So, and when I say take over, like, this part is very hypervigilant, right? She's watching everything, interpreting everything, looking for the clues. Um, and I felt that in exchanges with my husband and I, and how like I would take something that he said and hear it, right? Hear it as something different and be disappointed and frustrated and hurt by that, and not in the words that he actually said, or even better, in his intention, which the words that he actually said were harsher than his intention was. And then how my hypervigilant little warrior gal heard it was, even more harsh.
Yeah.
And yeah, um, I'm gonna have to step in is what I heard. What was said was, it's time for me to help. And what he meant was, I'm being ridiculous in landing this all on you. And so like to the gratefulness is in being able to recognize what I heard, what was said, and what he intended, allows for a very short conversation about, hey, that hurt my feelings. I know what your intentions were. Yeah, that was one of my intentions. This is what I meant. I love you. Okay, I love you too. Right. And instead of just being pissed, because, the warrior spends a lot of time being pissed.
Yeah. She's at war, damn it.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
serious stuff.
Just fists up, right? We're protecting the face everywhere we go, right? And so being able to have her specialize, and then also have that's a skill that I would like to learn.
Mhm.
It's a skill that I'd like to learn. I think it's important to learn. So I think it's good to learn it, and I will learn it. If life could just be amazing and gentle and that would be great, but I don't think it is. So
That's not for
so
anybody.
yeah.
So
So I
along
think
that path, here you are as an expert.
mhm.
You're a coaching expert. You have all kinds of tools and techniques, have been through all kinds of sorts of training. And yet you too have stuff come up in your life that doesn't
Oh
exactly
yeah.
go perfectly.
Yeah.
So what lessons are you offering to those who are going through similar experiences and don't have all of your expertise?
Yeah, you feel stuck, which is essentially what it is. I felt stuck in this anxiety. I felt stuck in this madness. I felt stuck in this, I don't want to do this mode. Um, and I think the easiest thing to do is you put one foot in front of the other. And oftentimes that, like for me, I didn't want to journal, didn't want to write, didn't want to meditate, wasn't going to do any of those things, but I did have shit to do.
Mhm.
I had stuff to do in the afternoon. And the act of getting something done for me, I had errands to run, I got something done. It was as simple as getting my prescription. I picked up a prescription. I picked up a prescription with pickled peppers on at Costco, and I got that done, and I immediately felt lifted. You know, nothing else is in my control, but what I can control, I can do this,
Mhm.
right? So putting one foot in front of the other. You may not want to journal or meditate at that moment, but putting one foot in front of the other, getting, moving forward, um, will help you figure out what you can do.
Mhm. Yeah.
And of course, call a therapist, call a coach, call
Yeah.
because I texted you. I had
Phone a
I had
friend.
yep, I had my therapy. And I feel so much more able to be objective about the situation, and I can also feel that I know what now I need to do in order to manage the takeover, right? It's not a takeover, it's a specialization. We can still have other things in our lives. We don't have to drive everything. And
Perfect.
I'm sure I will feel stuck again in this process over the next couple of months. I will feel discomfort. I will feel dislike. I will feel frustrated. I will want to run away.
Yeah. And you will feel those tingles in your body and
Yep.
the heart rate come up.
The heaviness. And I will move through it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all great. And I think it's important for us as experts and coaches and all these things to admit, you know, positive intelligence doesn't mean your life is just full of positivity, and coaching and partnering and mirroring and doing all this great work doesn't mean that we don't need that ourselves.
Exactly.
And sometimes those that don't have a coach or therapist, it's truly a matter of setting somebody down you trust and saying, do not give me advice. Do not even respond. Just sit and listen to me talk about the situation for 15 minutes or however long. Just listen.
Yep. Because I mean, and that's a lot of what I did was articulating what I was feeling helped me to understand what I was feeling.
Yeah.
You know, that speaking, we often say that in the thinking environment, that the person doesn't know what they think until they say it out loud.
Yeah.
It's the same way, right? Your feelings are the same way. Feelings and thoughts are the same way.
Mhm.
And by admitting that I was pissed, that helped to alleviate being pissed
Mhm.
because it wasn't all bottled inside,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
almost everybody has someone that they can ask for 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
I
Hmm.
just need you to be here to listen to me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
what's going on?
I have a lot going on too. We all know Isley has decided on college now.
Mhm.
So now it's a matter of moving her in August 21st. We have talked, Mike and I, for years about selling the home and moving post her graduation. So put the house up for sale end of June, got an offer 30 days in. We were a little suspicious about the different reviews of the home, the investigations, the what do you call it? Um, and we had three different people come out to look at different things. And some of the people looking, inspecting the appliances did really stupid things, like put food in the garbage disposal and test it, but left all the food like in the sink. We're 2 hours late, letting Mike come back in. I wasn't home, thank goodness. They left the convection oven on. So he came back hours later and the oven was on. He noticed for some reason that they'd tested a dishwasher we don't normally use. And there was some light blinking, I guess. And once he discovered what it was online, they had like put it into some different mode
Mo- Hmm.
that can't be fixed unless you pull out the dishwasher, tip it over, drain this, reset this, do this. Um, Left water in the microwave and just all kinds of weird stuff. Um, and that's just one of many little things. The people buying the home, um, not in addition to having all these inspections and them not going very well or respecting our time to be out of the house during the inspections. Um, just nitpicked the price, the negotiation, the whole thing. And so we were already of a mindset that, we're not thrilled with the price we got, but we also acknowledge we waited until a month after graduation to put the house on the market. And the truth is, we would love to go to our cabin in Indiana for Labor Day weekend and not return to Michigan, not have to make the drive back. And that's a pretty short period of time.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we didn't want the house to sell too quickly. Otherwise, we would have been without a house, and Isley would have been without some place to stay in Michigan before she went off to college. So The timing is exactly right. We take her off to college on the 21st. We close on August 23rd, and then we need to be out by Labor Day weekend, which is moving the following week. And we're done. But just the negotiation and then these inspections, kind of irritating, really irritating. And then they sent a list of the furniture that they would love for us to include with the home. Like the whole freaking home, Kate.
Well, you have good taste, Gwen. They want all your stuff.
Like to the point where they've asked for our mattress and box springs. And I'm like,
That's odd.
so yeah, a part of me is like, well, that's cool that they liked the decor, but they
Hmm.
really thought they were buying a furnished home. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I too have to, get myself off the ceiling.
But
And
one small point, like include in the price of the home. They don't even want to like purchase it from you.
they would love for us to include all of this in the price of the home that's already been negotiated to a point that I am not thrilled with. However, they may consider buying if we want to offer pricing.
Sure.
On the one hand, I'm like, okay, well, this is an opportunity for us to really sort through what do we really want to pay to move? What do we really want to pay to store?
Yeah.
Or what do we sell to them? On the other hand, because they negotiated the home the way they did, I'm like, what are they going to expect? Like five
Right.
cents on the dollar for everything in our home?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I don't know. First world problems, but
But
still,
very stressful.
it is our home. It is
Mhm.
our furniture.
Well, and there's that everything is effort.
Yeah.
Everything is effort.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The big stuff for me is I wanted that to be fairly easy, clear,
Yeah.
because I know taking the youngest off to college, as much as I want to make fun of it and be like, woo, and celebrate it because I do, it's going to be emotional. It's going to be hard. It's going to be weeks still, 3 weeks from now, of making sure everything is the way it needs to be and that she's safe and liking her roommates and then get over there and actually do the thing and then drive away for the last time. It's gonna be hard. And then the closing on the home just 2 days later, and then it's like off to the races, get the movers here. And we've got this really weird situation where I'm trying to think through, do we have moving truck for Oregon house stuff, moving truck for Oregon business stuff, moving truck for cabin stuff, or not?
Or do you just leave it all there? Do they want your clothes
I
too?
think I should just sell it all. Yeah. Uh,
You put your
so,
purse on your shoulder and you leave. Okay.
so it's really tempting to make the quick and easy decisions, but I don't want to regret later. And
Yeah.
yeah, so all that is going on. Plus, I am going through a coaching program, a training program right now, concluding it actually. I have my final session with my practice client come Monday, and then I can submit a video to show I know how to coach. I can do all the tests and other assessments and hopefully be certified very soon. But you and I both have gotten our baseline coaching, and then we've added this certification and that certification, and we added our health and wellness certification, and then we keep adding positive intelligence and this and that. Um,
Assessments and yeah, all the things.
all great stuff to work with executive clients. That's really appropriate for LinkedIn and awesome. Um, I'm getting into stuff that is more around health and more edgy and more undiscussable and really good stuff. But I've had to have conversations with Mike and my mother-in-law now about you might be seeing things out on social media where I'm trying to help people in different ways and really push the boundaries of what health and health coaching are. And I want you to know I haven't lost my mind. And I want you to know that your friends and family could be starting to raise some things up. And so that's been stressful. And I went to a conference this last weekend as part of that final certification. And I was nervous and felt like I would be completely uncomfortable and not know what this, different coaching community would be like. And I guess like you, I just kept telling myself, just go, just get on the plane, just show up. If it's horrible, weird, terrible, completely uncomfortable, I have agency. I can leave. I don't have to go to past walking in the front door. I don't have to go past the first hour or the first day if I don't want to and see what happens.
Do you
And
want to say what it is so that it doesn't, like, people aren't thinking you're into animal husbandry coaching? Because you have not said what it is.
I don't plan to say specifically what it is until we're really ready with the marketing plan. But in general, the World Health Organization has all components of health on their website, and intimacy and sexual health is a component of health. And so I've been exploring intimacy in different ways. Richard Swartz and his parts work also has a subcomponent called intimacy from the inside out.
Mhm.
And that is just even deeper, learning about your own inner parts and what you're feeling, what you've just described well today. Understand that first when you're in an intimate relationship so that that relationship can thrive and your arguments aren't all about, well, he said and she said, go back inside and figure out what of your parts are flaring up, how you're contributing to this
Yeah.
discussion. And then from the sexual health perspective, I have always really appreciated that women have not been as well researched in healthcare. Most of their research is based on men and the biologies of men and the DNA of men, and most drugs are tested on male
Yep.
subjects for all kinds of reasons. No one wants to detriment a person, a woman of childbearing years and create long-term side effects. So some of that is understandable, but the same could be said for men. Um, in any case, wanting to really focus on sexual health because most of the people that I coach are women and they talk a lot about confidence and agency and not understanding sometimes why this inner critic rises up.
Mhm.
And I am always trying to get to the undiscussable part of it. And when we get to that, it's, well, no, it's not just at work. Yes, it is with my partner. Yeah, these same things come up in the bedroom as they do in the boardroom. And man, I just don't think I'm on the same page with my partner. I don't know if it'll last. Ugh. And so I have researched different programs to learn more and more about not only sexual health, but these relationship dynamics and the dance we do and what it means for us individually. So yes, I will start talking about that and exploring that and taking coaching clients on those sorts of topics and doesn't fit the LinkedIn profile.
I I have a little bit of a different take, but
Okay.
that's because I think partially because I live on the West Coast and I
Mm.
was raised by a hippie. And I used to take my friends to Planned Parenthood because the way that you get out of Benson, Arizona is by not getting pregnant is the first. So we all had to inform each other. Um, Imagine a world in which you could live your life in a way where you do have health at every aspect, right? You do know yourself and you're not afraid of knowing yourself and you are intimate with yourself and you know your body and you know what you like and you know how to engage and connect with a partner. The World Health Organization also says that we are the loneliest that we've ever been, even when we are in a relationship.
Mhm.
Intimacy with friends, intimacy with lovers, intimacy with family, having boundaries, knowing what you like, knowing what you don't like, understanding where you're at. I think all of that is a part of life. And I totally get it that it's awkward on LinkedIn because that is business. Um, but I also am in the space of like, gosh, we just started talking about menopause. It feels like 9 months ago as a society. And now there's products on the market that are helping people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were always products on the market, but they just weren't shoved to me in Instagram
Could be.
ads.
Maybe you started
Or
using the word and your phone has heard you.
probably, I don't know. But it feels like there is this almost snowball effect of like if we talk about taboo subjects, then all boats start to rise. Like it gets better, right? They just started doing female crash test dummies. It turns out in an accident, when you use a male crash test dummy to design everything, it impacts women almost like I think 50% more than men. They get hurt in accidents. Could be 100%. I don't know the stat, but it's
Yeah,
a lot more,
a lot more.
right? So when we start talking about these subjects that tend to be taboo and we normalize it and we can get the answers and the help and we have someone to listen to, right? Going back to, this is what I'm dealing with. I need someone to listen to. Then all of the contraction or all of the disease that is associated with that can fall away.
Mhm. And that is what I have realized my next steps is to start to normalize these conversations.
Mhm.
There, why sex is not a normalized conversation is so cultural, so embedded, and
Yeah.
so very countercultural for women.
Mhm.
um, that I feel like I need to start there. And so that will be my next step. And now I look back and, oh, what have I not discussed with my kids? What have I never discussed with my own husband of 30 plus years, who I've dated since I was 16? I mean, we're like making up ground, and he's like, oh, yeah. Where did this come from? And who is this woman? Yes, I'm still me. And yet I have had the nerves. I have had the anger about we're as women in this situation culturally. I have had such anxiety over how do I talk about this and still be a credible executive coach and still go on LinkedIn, or do I just shift gears and I'm no longer on LinkedIn. I'm only on other social channels. I don't know. Still trying to work through all that. But at the end of the day, that's not what's important. What's important is women have an opportunity to talk to somebody or lots of somebodies who can truly help them through what's really going on. What do they really like? Do they even know?
Mhm. Right.
What do they really want to try next? Do they even know? Um, what do they want to do to make themselves feel better, more confident, take agency, have a voice,
Yeah.
um, and that all of that can help themselves personally, but also their relationships, whether intimate or not. and they can show up very differently in the world. So I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
This, it reminds me of Brene Brown, right? Shame is eradicated by shining a light on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of shame around sexuality, intimacy. Are we doing it enough? Are we not doing it enough? What do I like? I just don't do that anymore. Like I've grown to a certain age that that's just not a part of my life. And if you're deciding to do that, that's fine. But if you're letting your experiences decide that for you, then
Our culture decide that for you because you shouldn't be talking about that as a woman or a midlife woman. You should be over that. What?
right, we can get to the point where we shine the light on sex and intimacy to the degree that it's not shameful and that we have better relationships, better connections, happiness, because orgasms do create happiness, and
Joy. It might
greater.
get you to joy.
Right. That's your answer for everything, Gwen.
I was back here.
Feeling anxious? You can put one step in front of the other and go get your prescription, or
Or head to the bedroom.
always an option.
Always an option.
And you have made me blush, which is pretty
See?
hard to do.
So isn't this going to be fun?
Absolutely. Let's kick it.
Instigating women and friends, whole new level.
Yep. Next level.
Next level. Here we go.
We've unlocked the power pack.
We have. Look out. Mhm. So you're in this with me, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
It's me to go get this certification. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but I'm very much intrigued by just what you have shared with me. Like I'm like, oh, this is amazing. You know, I love a good learning experience.
I know. I know, but it is really, really edgy and you can go anywhere with it. Right.
Right. But you're going to meet your clients where they are. And so you'll have enough, or you have the expertise to then say, here's the spectrum.
Yes.
And if your client is in this spectrum or that spectrum or this spectrum, you now have the knowledge to be able to meet them wherever they are and to have those discussions and help problem solve and help ask them questions so that if they don't know where they are on that spectrum, they've got it.
Yeah, exactly. And
So
then you can refer
yeah.
to people with real expertise in some
Different
of this,
certification.
which I do not. Uh, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
Mhm.
I'm excited. I am on this journey with you. We will, people who watch the video can see some blushing occasionally. They'll see us laugh because there's this can be uncomfortable. But we're going to talk about it all.
All right.
Let's go, girls.
Sounds good. So my lessons for everyone are, just acknowledge when something makes you nervous or upset or you're scared shitless and you got those white knuckle moments, and recognize maybe you didn't think at this stage in your life you would be intentionally doing this kind of thing, but it's like getting on a roller coaster. It's like walking to the end of the high dive. I remember that when I was young, and just the shaking. And as long as you know you're safe, as long as you know there's a plan B and you've got great people around you, why not? Why
Yeah.
not?
It brings up I do Apple Fitness Plus workouts, and one of the instructors said, without challenge, there's no change.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Without challenge, there's no change.
Yep. And
It might be challenging.
we want to change the world, right?
Exactly. For the better.
Yes, for the better. For the better. Of course. Thank you for that clarification. And thank you for your time as always.
Absolutely. Fun times.
Yes,
Looking forward to our future.
me too. High five.
Yep.
Talk later.
Bye.